Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our event for today, Stress Proofing Your Heart. So we have here with us Dr. Anuja. She has a lot of experience in this field, and I want her to give her introduction because I feel that that would be the best. So thank you everyone for participating in today's event. Over to you, Anuja. Dr. Anuja, please, if you could give us a quick brief about what you've done, and you can begin with the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. Welcome everyone to today's session and good evening. My name is Dr. Anuja Luniya. I am a senior physiotherapist and behavioral health coach. I have been practicing since the last 17 years and I have conducted over 120 workshops in the last 4 years, all on mental health, well-being, health, and stress management. I work with over 100 corporates and I'm very passionate about helping individuals regulate their stress through play. So today on World Hypertension Day, we are going to go on a special journey during this workshop on how to regulate our stress and either manage and prevent hypertension. So it's going to be a completely interactive workshop. So I would like you to interact as much as you can through the chat option. And I would like you to have a notepad and pen with you so that you can take notes and all your questions I'll be answering at the end of the session. Now, before we begin, I would like to know how many of us have our notepads and pen ready? If yes, please give me a hands up or a thumbs up. Both work. If you do not have your notepads ready, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to quickly run, get in some movement, get that notepad, and then we'll begin. 10 seconds. Oh, wow, I have a lot of thumbs up. So a lot of people have their notepads. Excellent. 2 seconds, please. All right. Okay. So the countdown has begun. 7, 6, 5 seconds more for anyone who wants to bring in their notepads and pens. Okay, last 2 seconds. All right. Now, I know we are all staring at our screens right now, but I want you to take a moment and place your hand over your heart and just feel that steady beat of your heart. That's your heart working tirelessly 24/7 to keep you alive and thriving, right? So we should do everything that we can to take care of our heart. Now, hypertension is often called the silent killer because it typically doesn't have noticeable symptoms. Yet, it is a leading cause of heart disease, stroke, and other serious health conditions. Now, it's estimated that more than 1 in 4 people in India currently struggle with high blood pressure, and many of them aren't even aware of it. So now, can anyone tell me what exactly is blood pressure? Before we go on to high blood pressure, what's blood pressure? You can let me know in the chat. What do you think is blood pressure? Anybody? Force exerted on the arteries and veins. Yes, but just the arteries, not the veins. Anyone else? Okay. So, like mentioned, blood pressure is basically the force of your blood pushing against the walls of your arteries. Now, arteries are the blood vessels which supply blood from your heart to your body. So, for the blood to reach your body parts, whether it's your hands, your legs, the blood has to be pumped out through the blood vessels. That pressure in the arterial walls is what is called as blood pressure. Now, when this force of pushing the blood against the walls of the arteries is consistently too high, it puts a strain on your heart and blood vessels, which leads to damage over time, right? So, can anyone tell me what are the signs that you may that show that you might have high blood pressure? What are the signs that could mean that, okay, maybe I might have high blood pressure? You can let me know in the chat. Get angry, okay. Feeling dizzy, maybe, yes. Headaches, yes. Fast breathing, yes. Head reeling, yes. Giddiness, yes. Anxiety, sweating, yes. Heart rate increases, feeling dizzy, headache, blacking out, heavy head, feeling exhausted. Okay, so we can see that okay, there are a lot of signs, right? But yet, even if your blood pressure is dangerously high, many times you might find that there are no signs. Okay? So the fact that there might be no signs is very important for us to remember, because you can only know if you have hypertension or you're struggling with hypertension if your blood pressure is measured regularly. So today I'd like you to remember that from today onwards, if you've not been doing it till now, fix a day. If you do not have high blood pressure currently, but fix a day in the, let's say, once in 15 days or once in a month, where you check your blood pressure regularly, so you have an idea what your average blood pressure is. Okay, that's very, very important. And for this, you can consult a doctor, or you can get a blood pressure machine at home nowadays. Okay, now let's come back to all the signs that you just mentioned in the chat over here, right? So we had, okay, where do we start? Okay, angry, feeling dizzy, anxiety, headache, fast breathing, head reeling, giddiness again, sweating, heart rate increases, feeling, okay, blacking out, heavy head, feeling exhausted, loss of appetite. Yes. So can, would you agree with me if I say that all of these signs are very similar to the signs which we see when we are stressed out? Would you agree? If yes, please give me a thumbs up. All these signs that we have in the chat, are they very similar to what we feel when we are stressed out? Okay, so a lot of us agree. Anyone who doesn't agree? Okay. So if I say in today's fast-paced world, stress is just a part of it. I mean, there's no other way of putting it, right? Stress is just a part of our lives. What if I told you that your stress could directly be impacting your blood pressure levels? Would that make sense? Would you agree that your stress levels could directly be impacting your blood pressure? Okay, we have lots of yeses and lots of thumbs ups. Excellent. Okay. So we agree there's a link between stress and blood pressure. Now, if I say that right now you get to know that tomorrow you have to you have to present a project which you've been working on, would that cause you a certain amount of stress to meet that deadline? Right? It would. And but after you have presented the project, would you still feel that same stress which you will feel right now on hearing that you have to present it tomorrow? No. No. Anyone else? Okay, great. So we know that there are two types of stress, right? One is where it's a short-term stress. For example, I've been told I have to present right now, and I have to present tomorrow. And once I present my project, I am not stressed out anymore over it. I was a short-term stress, or what we would say acute stress, right? Now, acute stress is great for us, right? When we recover completely from it, we are we actually become stronger because of that stress. But there's another stress which is linked to hypertension, which is called as chronic stress. So does anyone know what chronic stress is? Can you give me a few examples in the chat, please? If you know. If you don't, I'll explain it. Okay. So chronic stress can be two things. Yes, chronic stress basically is longer duration stress, which means that it's there consistently in the background all the time. It could be from anything. It could be endless to-do lists. It could be your phone continuously pinging to give you notifications. It could be having to struggle with a bad relationship. It could be not having a social circle. It could be poor health. It could be overthinking. It could be feeling overwhelmed all the time. Chronic stress can be any small thing that is constantly happening in your life, but you're not able to completely recover from that stressor. Yes, grinding your teeth is a sign that you're stressed out. Okay. So what I would like you to do now is share with me examples of the common stressors that you have experienced either in the workplace or in daily life that you feel could contribute to high blood pressure. That's a long sentence. Let me repeat that. I'd like you to share with me examples of common stressors, either in the workplace or in daily life, that you feel can contribute to your high blood pressure. Fear of job loss. Okay. Family problems. Yes. Anyone else? Sitting all day in a chair. Yes, that's a stress too. Meeting expectations is a very big stressor we all face. Relationship issues. Yes. Health issues. Yes. Leave it in nasal septum would impact your breathing, which would cause stress. Yes. Long working hours, yes. Health of loved ones, yes. 5, stress, okay. Significant life events such as moving, losing a loved one, definitely. Financial problems, yes. Hair fall is because of stress. Constant fear, yes. Deadlines, yes. Love problems, yes. Narcissistic in-laws, yes. Okay, so can we see how many small things can lead to us being chronically stressed out, right? Okay, so think of all of these things, okay, and then think of what all you add to that stressor with your thoughts, with the overthinking. You know what happens, what kind of content you consume online, by not sleeping well, by not eating on time, by choosing quick or unhealthy food options. All of those simple choices also add on to your chronic stress. And all of these together can contribute to having high blood pressure. I'm not trying to scare you, but let's see how this works. Once we know how this works, then we know what to do about it. So what happens is this: when we face a stressor, our body decides, okay, because the stress has come into our life, whether it's my presentation for tomorrow, which is a short-term stress, or whether it is a relationship problem, let's say, which is continuously ongoing since months. Both times, my body is saying, I need to sort this out so I can come back to my comfort zone, right? So the body prepares itself to either fight the stressor, run away from the stressor, or freeze in front of the stressor. All right. So when the body decides to fight or run away, what happens is that the body will start increasing your heart rate. It pumps more blood. Why? Because it's shifting all your blood from the center of your body, from your torso, into your arms and legs. So either you have to actually fight or you have to run away, right? So when the heart rate is increasing, what happens is that your blood vessels constrict or tighten, right? So it can push the blood faster. Now, because the push is increasing in those narrow vessels, the blood pressure increases or decreases? Tell me in the chat. Heart rate is increased, the blood vessel walls, your artery walls have tightened or become smaller. So will the blood pressure increase or decrease? Increase, exactly. So increased blood pressure is normal when we face a stressor, because that's our way of our body preparing us to go into action mode. Okay. Now, for a short stress, present tomorrow, it's fine. I mean, that high blood pressure is going to help me focus. It's going to give me energy in the body to focus, get the presentation ready, present it tomorrow, and be done with it. And then what happens is another part of your nervous system comes into play, which helps your body relax. So this system, which is mainly controlled by the vagus nerve, what it does is it helps the heart slow down. So your heart rate drops, the narrowing of your blood vessels relaxes, your blood vessels come back to its normal diameter, and the blood pressure drops. So this happens normally when you recover from stress. Now let's say that we are facing relationship stress since months, weeks. It is going on and on and on and on. Every 1 week you have some of the other argument, something or the else happens, and you feel bad or you feel stressed out. Now here, because the stress is continuously building or is continuously there, what happens is your heart is continuously being told to keep its heart rate high. Your blood vessels are continuously being told to, okay, stay narrow. We need to keep pushing the blood towards the limbs because we need to be ready for action. Either we're going to fight or we're going to run, right? So when for a long period of time, your heart is continuously keeping its heart rate high, okay, your blood vessels are constricted, okay, your blood pressure is higher, right? This causes other long-term changes to happen in your body. Okay? One of which is, if you remember, like we said, that because the heart rate is increased, the blood vessel size is reduced, blood pressure has risen. When this stays for a long period of time, you'll find that your resting blood pressure or your resting heart rate has changed. If, for example, when I was not in that relationship and I was checking my heart rate and my blood pressure, my heart rate was, let's say, around 70, 75. Okay. But now, since I've been in that relationship, my heart rate is 85, 90, 95 sometimes, depending on the stress which I face in that relationship. So over a period of time, when these chronic stresses are building up in your life, are continuously there in your life, and we are not doing much about it, they are a very, very big cause. I could say 99% of the cause for you being at risk for hypertension. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs ups. Okay, I'm glad everyone agrees with me. Okay, so what happens is when we are in for a long time under chronic stress, what happens is that the vagus nerve that I mentioned that helps your heart slow down, slows down the heart rate, helps reduce our blood pressure. That vagus nerve gets tired and it doesn't function well. It says this is not going to stop, so let me just stop, giving my best effort here because it's not working. So when your vagus nerve stops functioning well, even if the stressor reduces or goes away, your vagus nerve does not have the energy to help you come back to that 70, 75 normal heart rate, which was there before the stress. Is that, please let me know if you understood this part. This is very important. Okay, great. So now, if your vagus is not functioning well, even if you meditate, even if you exercise, even if you do all of that, but the stressor is there, it's not going to help you with the hypertension or be at risk for it. But if the stressor is there and you learn how to take care of your vagus nerve, right? If you can, even with the stressor being there, if you take action to take care of your vagus nerve and improve its function, it will help you combat that chronic stress. It will be okay, fine. For example, this is how it would work. I've just had an argument with a person I'm having this troubling relationship with, and I am stressed out. I just do not want. I am ready to blast out. I'm ready to be angry and I'm ready to fight. I'm full on in fight mode, right? But I know this is not going to be good for my head, for my high blood pressure. This is not going to be good for my health. So what I do in this moment is to consciously try and calm myself down using specific techniques which would work during this stage for me to help my vagus nerve function better, so it can rebalance my inner functions. It can help slow down my heart rate. It can help relax my blood vessels. It can help reduce my blood pressure, which is high due to the fight mode, right? So are we all ready to learn one very simple technique right now to help our vagus nerves? Okay. And if you see more yeses, okay, thumbs ups. Excellent. All right. So what we're going to do now, okay, great, is a very simple breathing technique. This is not exactly a breathing technique. It's a fun technique. It's one of my favorite techniques. So let's try this. Okay, now this technique is going to help you harness the physiological effects of positive emotions. Okay, so let's say that when you you tell me in the chat, when you feel stressed out, do you feel good? No, right? Okay, but when you're happy, do you feel good? Excellent. Okay, so this technique is just a very simple thing. It's a switch. It takes you from stress and not feeling good to feeling good and feeling all the benefits of feeling good. All right. So this can be used whether you're feeling agitated, angry, fearful, whether you want to fight, whether you want to run away, whether you want to procrastinate, whether you are feeling like you have to whether you're shutting down, whether you are depressed. This technique works in all these cases. So you can use it whenever you need it, no matter how you're feeling. Okay. All right. Let's start by getting comfortable wherever you're sitting, whether you're on the chair, sofa, the floor, wherever you are. Get comfortable wherever you're sitting. Make sure that your back is straight. Don't make it tight. Relaxed but straight. Feet flat on the floor if you're in the chair. And hands resting gently in your lap or your armrests. Now, imagine that a little dial for your mind and body energy goes from 1 to 10. Okay? 1 is extremely slow thoughts and extreme tiredness. This is where you would feel procrastination, shutdown, or depression. And 10 is full racing thoughts and makes it hard to sit still. So this is where you would feel anger, agitation, whether you want to fight or run away. Right now, in this moment, where do you land on the dial? Just check in with yourself. Okay. Now, what I would like you to do is to look straight, and keeping your head still, Just with your eyes, look to the right as comfortably as you can. Just with your eyes, look to the right. Keep looking to the right till you yawn, sigh, or swallow. If it takes some time, it's all right. Once you yawn, sigh, or swallow, bring your eyes back to the center. And now repeat the same on the left. So with your eyes, just look to the left as comfortably as you can. Once you yawn, sigh, or swallow, bring your eyes back to the center and close your eyes. Notice your breath for a few moments. Just your natural inhale and exhale. Shift your attention to the area around your heart. Imagine your breath flowing in and out of that space. Try and slow down your breathing just a little. Inhaling as long as you can and exhaling as long as you can. Now, try to bring to mind a feeling of warmth, happiness, peace. Maybe it's a memory of someone you love, a special pet, a beautiful place, anything that gives you that positive feeling. If nothing comes to mind, just imagine a sense of deep calm. If you can, let that feeling grow a little stronger and spread throughout your body. Slowly bring your focus back to your breath. Now take a moment to check in to see if your mind and body energy is settling. Perhaps notice your energy dial, whether it's turning up or down a notch or two. So if you said 1, 3, or 4 as your pre-technique dial energy, now where are you? You can let me know in the chat. If you said 5 or 6 or 5, where are you now? 6, okay. Please let me know where you started and where you've reached. So where did you start and where did you reach? That will help me understand whether you've seen a difference or not. Yes, so 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, that's really great. So you have moved out of that shutdown feeling. From 2 to 6, that's really good. From 6 to 3, good. 2 to 6, good. Great. So how is everyone feeling? These are just, okay, these are our numbers. How are we feeling now? Please let me know that in the chat. Happy, relaxed, okay. Great technique. I'm glad you found that. Traveling breath by breath till the heart feels great. I'm really glad to hear that. Very good. You feel calm, energetic, better. Okay, excellent. Feeling better. Great. Now, this technique takes exactly 2.5 minutes. That's it. Right? So you can do this technique. How many of us have 2.5 minutes multiple times a day in our day? I have. Anyone else has? Let's say we can have like 3, 4, 2.5 minutes in the entire day. Yes? If yes, I want thumbs up. If no, give me a thumbs down. That also works. I love the answer, of course, and that I have. All right. So everybody does. Exactly. So if I said that if you could make this into a practice where you practice this technique, let's say 3, 4, or 5 times in a day, would that be doable? So yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, of course. Great. Okay. Okay. I'm glad everyone is saying yes. Okay. So the best way to practice this technique first thing in the morning when you wake up, because that sets the tone for your entire day. Before you go to sleep, because even if you are stressed out or not feeling good before, by the time you hit the bed, this technique will help your nervous system. If not you, it will help your nervous system feel better, which will in turn make you feel better, right? Plus, practice it as many times as you can in a day. Now, I know when I said doable and everyone says yes, but tomorrow everyone will say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So, very simple thing we're going to do right now. I want you to go into your calendar for, let's say, one day. Let's say for today's Friday. So, let's do Monday. Go into your calendar on Monday and see where you can remove 2.5 minutes at least thrice in the day, other than morning and night. Can we do that? I'll give you like 10 seconds. Check your Monday calendars. Where can you make 2.5 minutes of time you can take out thrice in a day? Once you find those 2.5 minutes thrice a day during your work day, I would like you to put in a meeting over there or schedule an appointment with yourself to do this technique. This technique is called Anchor 101. We know how to do the technique right now, right? So just schedule it into your this thing. So 2.5 minutes, you're going to take the time, you're going to do the technique, feel better, and get back to whatever you were doing. All right. Once you've scheduled the technique, please give me a thumbs up so we can move on to the next part. All right. I'm going to wait for 2 more thumbs ups and I'm going to start. One more. Oh, excellent. Okay. Now, how many of us know what a sedentary lifestyle is? Do we know what a sedentary lifestyle is? Static. Yes. A lifestyle where we hardly move. Okay. So, how many of us work out regularly? It's okay even if you don't, but I just like to know. Okay, not a lot of us work out. A lot of us do work out. Okay. How many of us make time to move in the day? How many of us take time to move in the day? Okay, when I say move, I do not mean walking steps of 8,000, 10,000, because 8,000, 10,000 steps is an average. It is not something which every single person is supposed to do or will be able to do. Okay, so when I talk about movement, I mean movements like household chores, picking up your groceries or your kids and moving around. What I mean is bending down and let's say picking stuff off the floor. Walking, of course, yes. Climbing stairs, yes. Jumping, or all the other basic movements that we should be doing. Or playing with your kids, playing with your pet. How many of us do that? Cycling, yes. Hiking, yes. Excellent. Now, how many of us do most of this movement on the weekends, and how many of us do it in the weekdays also? I am so happy to see everyone saying all the time and every day. This is so good. Excellent. So, if you had to accumulate the number of hours you move in a day compared to how many hours you sit in that same day, which is more, sitting or moving? Right. So, bad news I have to share then is if we move in the day, we work out whether cycling and move, but we still sit for longer, we are not actually negating the effects of a sedentary lifestyle. So, one person said move. I'm really glad to hear that. Okay. Now, what happens when we sit for long hours? Okay. The main thing that happens is we have reduced cardiovascular fitness or reduced fitness in our heart muscle. Our heart muscle is weaker compared to people who move more often. Why is this? Because our bodies are designed evolutionarily to move and not to sit. But our modern life has a sitting more than moving, right? Now, exactly, nature of the job. We can't do anything about it. And laziness comes in because we are not used to moving anymore. No other reason. So if you sit for long hours, reduce heart health, right? Reduce heart fitness. Because of this, and add in the chronic stress we spoke about, we will see increased insulin resistance. Now, when we have insulin resistance, it will change how our gut functions. The chronic stress will also change how our gut functions. If our gut doesn't function well, it leads to inflammation. Now, inflammation is what will actually hurt our heart muscle and can lead to heart disease, right? When we sit for long or we don't feel like moving or we're lazy to move, what happens is we can gain weight faster because weight depends not only on movement but also what kind of foods you eat, right? And most of the foods we eat today, even if we feel is healthy, is actually not as healthy as it used to be, let's say 50, 60 years ago or 100 years ago, right? Because the nutrient values have reduced in all the foods we eat. Now, when all of this happens because of the sedentary lifestyle, does a workout for 30 minutes really help? You can do a 30-minute workout, you can do a 60-minute workout. That is only 1 hour in 24 hours, and that's not going to be enough for what we're speaking about. Okay. So when we sit for long hours, even though we're moving, but we sit for longer, what happens is that our blood vessels that we spoke about, they become stiff. So imagine, tell me this, if you've been sitting for, let's say, the entire day working, okay, let's say maybe it's 4, 5, 6 hours, you've taken a few breaks in between. But after you sit for the day and you get up and you try and touch your toes, how many of us can touch our toes easily without feeling any stretch in our hamstrings? How many of us? Very hard. I can't. I can. Okay, we have people who can. I'm very glad to hear that. Okay, but see, we have some people who can't. The reason this is I'm asking this is because just like our muscles get stiff, our blood vessels also get stiff, right? And if our blood vessels become stiff, they become less flexible. So they become less flexible. That means it's harder for the blood to flow smoothly, and that is causing again increased pressure in our blood vessels to push the blood towards our hands and legs. That means high blood pressure again, right? You're at risk again. And like I mentioned, all of these factors, along with our gut playing a role, causes inflammation, which can again lead to heart disease, damage our blood vessels, and lead to high blood pressure again. So, what can we do to negate the effects of sitting for long hours? Any ideas? If yes, please drop them in the chat. What can we do? Standing desks, yes. 8 hours sitting, 8 hours sleeping will not negate the effect. Sleep is also stationary move. There's no movement. We need movement. Move more. Yes, but how to move more? Maybe take a break in between. Yes, but I get tired. That's all right. We'll work through that. We'll find a solution for that. Walk at regular intervals, taking short breaks, intermittent, doing random exercises, keep moving every hour, break 5-10 minutes every 1 hour. How do you feel it's sustainable for you to take a break every hour for the next till the end of the year, every day? Uju says, sure, I would please teach me also how, because even I can't do it consistently for till the end of the year. It depends exactly. We will have the best of intentions for our life, for our fitness and our health, right? But it also depends on external factors. So how do we make it sustainable for ourselves? Right? Sometimes you may have extra work, you may have life may throw a curveball, or something else will come up, and you will not be able to give that time. So what do we do? Let's try to make it flexible so it works for everyone. Let's make it sustainable so it gives you effects long term and it becomes a habit and becomes a part of your routine. So you don't have to think about it after, let's say, 3 months, right? And let's make it enjoyable. So if it's fun, then you feel like doing it again and again. So everyone ready for the next strategy? Okay. So what you're going to do is we're going to work on creating micro breaks. Does anyone know what micro breaks are? No. Okay. Tiny break. Yes. So the technique we just learned right now, Anchor 101, took 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes is a micro break, right? You've already told me you can give 2.5 minutes here and there in your day, right? Okay. So let's do this. I want you to check your calendar again. Let's take any day. Take it Monday or Tuesday if you want. And I want you to see where you can take out, let's say, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or 10 minutes. All don't need to be the same amount of time. It can be a 5 minute break here, it can be a 2 minute break there. Okay, let's do 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Once you have those slots identified, you can just write it down in your notepad. Okay, so for example, on Monday, while meeting at 10, between 10 and 11, I have a meeting. 11, the next meeting is 11:15, or the next task is 11:15. I can give 5 minutes or 7 minutes from 11 to 11:15, right? So let's write that down. So make a note in your notepads and let me know you have done that by a thumbs up so we can move on to the next one, next step. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so now that we have our slots fixed, right? The best way to, do we have to move the body in the 10 minutes or do we have to do breathing? I'm getting to that. So now in that time which you've taken, or whether it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or 10 minutes, we are going to choose what we can do. Right now, because we're starting out, I would say let's just keep it for, let's make it easy for us and let's stack things up. Okay, when it's easy to stack things up because it makes it feel like, oh my God, I don't have to do so much. This is doable, right? If it's doable, it's easy to complete. So we have a 2.5 minute technique, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to do the 2.5 minute technique in those 10 minutes. So in those 10 minutes, you start with the technique. Okay, if you have 7 minutes, also you start with the 2.5 minute technique. As you practice that technique, it becomes 2 minutes. So you save a half a minute there. So let's say out of 7 minutes, we have done 2 minutes technique. I still have 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, I want you to move. So I would like you to write down 5 different ways that you can move in the environment that you are. So if you're at work, what are the 5 different movements you can do? If you're at home, what are the 5 different movements you can do? They can overlap. That's fine. But I would like you to write down 5 different movements you can do in your movement break. And if you need help, I will help you with a few ideas. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write it down. Yes, I want the entire list. 5 things. Please give me a list in the chat. $30 everyone. Walk, dance, mild exercise, jump, go crazy. Excellent. But when you say mild exercise, let's get specific. Because when we specifically know what to do, it's easier for us to do it in that moment. Meditation is not movement. So unless you're talking about walking meditation or mindful movement, if it's that, please let me know. Stretching, yes, but stretching is not going to help as much for helping us improve our blood circulation and help the body, keep our blood vessels flexible as much as other types of movement or active movement, right? Because stretching is usually you stretch, you hold the position for a period of time. So what else can you do other than body stretching? 5 different specific movements. You can say, okay, I'm going to give it 5 seconds more. Catwalking, yes. Sip of water, listen to music and walk, yes. Okay, we go and fill water bottle, go in balcony and have a look outside, face wash, go into next room and bring some stuff, open fridge but not eat anything. Excellent. This is movement. When you open the fridge, I would like it if you open it, bend down, look at what's inside, or go on your toes, see what's in the freezer. you got in some other movement happening there, right? Or you can squat down and see, so you got in a few squats over there. Using steps, leg tapping, hands rotating, neck exercise, yes. Bring coffee, squats, twists, walks, climb stairs, yes. Small walk, jump, hand movements, drink water. Excellent. Okay, so let's build out this thing very simply. If you bring in normal movements which you already do, like go and fill the water bottle, go into the balcony and have a look outside, excellent. Let's make it a little more movement we brought in. Okay, when you go and fill the water bottle, you can just use the water bottle to do a few bicep curls, right? Just like the 2, 3, even if it's a 500 ml bottle, it's not looking for strengthening, we're looking for movement, right? Second, if you go in the balcony and have a look outside, you can do a few pump your calves. So you go up on your toes, come back down, go up on your toes, come back down. Just 5 repetitions. That's it, right? Going to the next room and bringing some stuff is like the best thing you can do. Leave your phone in the other room if you don't require a phone and bring it back. You're taking a break. You could do that. Cat walking is great. Walking your pets, playing with your kids is great movement. Yes, the best thing that you can do if you can't think of any exercise is burpees. Does everyone know what burpees are? If not, please check on YouTube. There are very simple burpee workouts. Just one simple burpee. If you do like 5 of them, the entire body has moved. Literally, your entire body has moved. It helps you with strength. It helps you with cardiovascular fitness. It helps also calm your nervous system down and release stress. So burpee is really great for our workouts. Okay. Shall we move on to our last part? Yes. Is everyone clear with scheduling micro breaks? It's called a burpee. Burpee is a type of exercise which you can just Google or just YouTube it and you can find it. Burpee. I just put in the name in the chat. So you can do half burpees, you can do full burpees depending on your health and fitness. So for example, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, or knee pain, I would suggest go for a modified burpee on the wall, right? But if you are not into fitness and you are inconsistent in fitness, or you feel you're not sure if you will be able to do it, do a wall burpee or do a modified burpee without jumps. If you're someone who is regularly exercising and has been exercising for a long period of time, is confident, you can do a normal burpee. And there are different burpee modifications and full burpee workouts also, which work. But please remember, whichever exercise you do, whichever movement you do, it has to be according to your health status and your fitness status. Do not do it as how an athlete or a pro would do it. Please do it as where you are right now. You can always build up. So that's completely fine, right? Personally, if you want to know, I right now do the walk burpee, which is I squat, place my hands on the ground, walk my legs back, walk my legs forward. I'm not jumping. Because right now I don't want to jump, right? So it's your choice. You can do the exercise. Yes, it's good for full body movement. So when you don't have time and you take only a 2-minute micro break, burpees are the best thing you can do. Push-ups are the best thing you can do. Squats are the best things you can do. Lunges are the best things you can do. They are functional movements. They work the entire body, right? They help your heart. So these are really good for you. Also, now that we have an idea of our micro breaks, let's do how many burpees in a day as a workout. I'm not giving burpees as a workout here. I'm giving you burpees as a movement in your micro break. Okay. So not more than 3 or 5, depending on your fitness. If 3 also feels hard, just do 1. That's fine. Right? The goal is movement. The goal is not to do the exercise as an exercise. Exercise is not the goal. Movement is the goal. Right? Now, the micro breaks that we spoke about, the slots which you picked out in your day where you have a 5, 10 or 7-minute gap that you can put in the micro break, I would like you to schedule in the appointment for the 2.5-minute work, Anchor 101 and the movement over there. Is that clear? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, so let's schedule that in. I want you to schedule it in because try it for 1 day, see how you feel, and when you feel good and better than you have normally feel, schedule it in for every day. You can change the movement, right? You can change the moments you use to do the anchor 101 technique. It doesn't have to be the same growth thing every day. You can change it up. So try doing that. Please give me a yes in the chat once everyone has scheduled in the micro breaks. Remember, the micro break is stacked. So we use the breathing technique and the movement in the same break. So in this way, whatever places you did 2.5-minute scheduling of the breathing techniques that can be removed if you want. If you don't want, you can keep it also. It also works. Sorry, just give me a second, please. Okay. All right. Last 10 seconds. Are we done? How many 10-minute breaks in a day? How many hours are you working? If you're working 8 hours, see how many gaps you can fit in. If you can do it even like five, 5 or 6 of them, it would be great between your work day. Over and above these, you do your workout, you do your movement before work, after work. All that is add on. These breaks are just during your work day. Okay, I'm going to give this 10 seconds more and then we move on. Last small part, then we move on to a Q&A. All right. So, how many of us like our coffee, tea? No, I'm really glad to hear that. Tea. Okay, I do. Yes. Okay. How many of us drink Red Bull or any other concentrated caffeine drink? No beer. I'm not even talking about beer right now. No, not. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, great. So if anyone does have Red Bull or any other concentrated caffeine drink, uh, or tea or coffee, I'm just going to explain what happens in the body when we have either tea or coffee or these caffeinated drinks. Okay. Caffeine basically raises your blood pressure. So how does it do this? It does it by narrowing the diameter of your blood vessels. Okay. It increases your stress hormone of adrenaline, right? And it blocks the hormone that helps keep your arteries wider, diameter wide, and relaxed. So, what do these points remind you of? Can anyone tell me what does this remind you of? What we spoke about earlier, what does it remind you of? Coffee high caffeine can give same causes the same physiological effects like hypertension, right? So it can induce stress. Yes. Now I'm not saying caffeine is bad for you. Caffeine is actually supposed to be good for the heart. But if you have chronic stress, right? If you don't move that much and you drink cup after cup of tea or coffee, or if you have a regular basis of caffeinated drinks, they are going to add on to your risk of hypertension because your heart and your blood vessels are already struggling with the chronic stress. They are already struggling to relax and come back to default baseline because you're not moving, and that is anyway causing stiffness in your blood vessels, right? So what we need to do is to make sure that every aspect of what we do in our life, every choice supports the choice of not being diagnosed with hypertension or managing the hypertension we may be having right now, right? So what we're going to do is very simple thing. Okay, how many cups of coffee do you have on an average? Fresh juice can also cause high blood sugar because juice has less fiber than fruit. Okay, we have two cups, 3 cups, 4, 2 to 3, 1, 3, 4, only 1, 2 cups, 3. Okay, great. Okay, so up to 400 ml is deemed to be safe. But if you want to take it a step ahead and make it help your body more, what you could do is if you're having 1 or 2 cups, that's fine. But make sure those 1 or 2 cups happen after 9 a.m. in the morning and before 4 p.m. in the evening. This is because this will help in reducing the effect of caffeine on your stress hormone production. So normally our cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone, along with adrenaline, it drops around after 9. It is peaking around 9 o'clock. It drops after 9. And after 4 p.m., it drops further so that we can fall asleep at night. But if you have coffee, let's say 8:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and then what happens is if your cortisol level normally is here, because of your caffeine, it goes up here in the morning itself. So it's harder for in the day for the body to bring the cortisol down so you can have a good night's sleep, right? Same thing at 4 p.m. After 4 p.m. if you have coffee, it again causes a spike in your stress hormones, which causes your sleep to be affected at night. So always keep your coffee after 9, before 4 p.m. Okay. Second thing, if you're having more than 2 cups, what you could do is, if you have like 3 or 4, you can replace those 1 or 2 cups with a glass of lemon water with salt, right? Lemon water with salt is a complete electrolyte mix which helps support your adrenal glands. Now, your adrenal glands are what produce cortisol and adrenaline, the stress hormones. So, if you are feeling chronically stressed out, I would say replace your coffee or caffeine with lemon water with salt at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. to support your adrenal glands so that they can combat the chronic stress and help you feel better and overcome the stress fast. This again helps in making your body feel better, more balanced. So your heart rate comes down, your vagus nerve takes over. All that will happen when you support the body with the lemon and salt water. So it could just be like half a lemon, squeezed half a lemon juice, one half, we could say half teaspoon of salt in 100 ml glass of water. That's the recipe. Okay, does tea also have same harm? People who drink tea before they sleep. So if you're having green tea, it's different. Green tea also has caffeine, but in very less quantities. There are a few green teas, not green teas, sorry, there are herbal teas which are non-caffeinated also, right? So those are great for before sleep, like lavender tea, peppermint tea, lemon tea. All of these are great for before sleep. Licorice tea. If you have brought down your cups from 5 to 1 to 2, that is absolutely great. See, I'm not saying coffee or tea is bad. They're good because they have other antioxidants in them which help support our other health factors and our heart. But more of anything is what doesn't work, right? And coffee and tea are such that we all have a different sensitivity to it. So if you're not as sensitive to it, you tolerate it well, go for it. I mean, don't stop. Definitely don't stop. You could just add in that lemon and salt into your routine. Or if you feel that you are sensitive, for example, you have a cup of coffee and you feel more stressed out, you feel more jittery, or you feel more anxious, that could be a sign that you're sensitive to it, or this is not the right time to have it, because your body is saying I am stressed out and you're giving me more caffeine, making me more stressed out. So if that is happening, it will be better to take a break from coffee and tea and get back to it once you feel better. So the best way to know what's working for you, what's not working for you, is to always listen to what your body is saying. Every sign or symptom that you see is a sign that your body is speaking to you. Okay, I think we can move on to question and answers now. We have questions coming in. Okay, does tea also have the same harm? Many people do drink tea before they sleep. So if you drink tea before you sleep and it has you're having like normal chai or the tea, then it can cause a small cortisol spike. And if cortisol increases, the sleep hormone melatonin cannot be released, or it stops, production stops, because cortisol and melatonin can't work together. Your alertness hormone, which is cortisol, and your sleep hormone, which is melatonin, cannot be high at the same time. Cortisol is high, melatonin will drop. If you want the melatonin to increase, so your sleep is good, the cortisol has to stay down. So if you want to drink tea before sleeping, green tea, non-caffeinated green tea, or haldi ka doodh, best. Okay, how about protein supplements? Protein supplements again depends on which protein supplement you're having. So you can let me know in the chat which one, then I can have a look. I'm not saying don't have tea and coffee. I'm just saying that see what your body is telling you when you have it. See how your overall lifestyle is, how your stress levels are, how your movement is, and then take a call of how much tea or coffee to have. That's it. Oh my god, I sparked a controversy here with tea and coffee. Alternatives to tea and coffee is water, lemon juice, lemon and salt water is like the best thing. You can have green tea. You can have a fruit, not fruit juice, fruit. And if you're having fruit juice, don't remove the pulp, keep the pulp. 10 cups of tea were reduced to 4 to 5. I'm so happy you brought it down to 50%. Let's see if you can bring it down more over time. How much carbohydrates impact on hypertension? Okay, now carbohydrates is a whole different topic, but just to tell you in short, carbs are good for us, unlike what is being told online and on social media and commercially. Without carbohydrates, our brain cannot function. Our brain feeds on carbohydrates. It needs sugar for energy. If you want focus, if you want to have good memory, you want to be productive, you want to grow and thrive in life, you need carbs for your brain. Okay? Which carbs you eat and when you eat are a whole different topic. And if you want to know more about that, I would just ask Riddhi to have another session on that. We can do that separately. But carbs on hypertension will only depend on whether you are insulin resistant, how much, what is your carb load, what is your which type of carbs you're having, when you're having it, how you're cooking it and eating it. All of that depends. So there's a lot of factors which come in when it comes to carbohydrates. Some people smoke when they're stressed. Yes, people smoke, drink, do recreational drugs, and a lot of other things, or doom scroll also when they are stressed out, because these are all coping mechanisms which help them feel better in the moment. But feeling better in the moment does not mean that you have handled and regulated the stress within the body. If you want to truly regulate that stress within the body, you have to work with the body and not use these coping mechanisms. And smoking also stiffens your blood vessels and increases your chances of hypertension way more than everything else that we discussed. Okay, if you're having whey has a one whey usually comes along with casein. So whey and casein can be inflammatory for people who are not having good gut health, and it also has a lot of sugar mixed into it and a lot of other preservatives, but a lot of sugar mixed into it. And sugar, no matter how healthy you are, is inflammatory for the body, processed sugar. So instead of whey protein, I would say going for a plant protein. You can do rice protein, you can do pea protein. Hemp protein is really good and nutritious. It's good for the gut. It's anti-inflammatory also. So you could try that. Yeah, so plant protein is good for your gut and for your gut microbiome. So if your gut microbiome is healthy and it's balanced, it will actually take care of your vagus nerve and the inflammation, so that it helps in that cycle. How about dark chocolates? Dark chocolates are good, but right now I think we're facing a crisis, right? The cacao crisis is going on. I don't know how long real dark chocolate will be available. Instead of dark chocolate, you could try raw cacao nibs. But I don't know. I don't think they're available right now online, but you can check. Cacao nibs are better than dark chocolate because that is true chocolate. Just like a pinch of them is enough. Just the last few questions. Due to hypertension and stress cause eczema. Eczema can happen because of stress and because of your gut, right? Not hypertension per se, but gut and your stress together can, yes, cause eczema. It's actually a sign that your gut is inflamed. Inflammation basically is where your immune system has been activated, and it is saying that okay, there's a predator inside, and I need to safeguard the body, and I need to take care of it. So it's your immune system causes inflammation, and inflammation, what happens is a particular part will have more blood supply. It will have more white blood cells coming in. It will have it will be more prone to injury actually, and if that inflammation is not taken care of, it can lead to chronic disease and other things. Sorry, which one? Oh yeah, so if you're saying for dark chocolate, I think I've mentioned it. It's for cacao nibs. All right. It was a great session with Dr. Anuja without regarding hypertension. There's a friend of mine, most of the time she feels anxious, she goes numb, her body movement stops for a while. She feels very bad, so I feel concerned for her. What can be done so that she feels relaxed and good? Looking forward to it. So, uh, what your friend is feeling where she moves from feeling anxious to moving towards feeling numb and she stops moving for a while, that isn't anything to do with hypertension. It's more to do with her nervous system feeling so overwhelmed after she feels anxious that her body shuts down to safeguard her and to conserve her energy. So what you could do is the technique we learned today, Anchor 101, you could help her, you could teach that to her, or you could just ask her to drop me a DM on LinkedIn. My name's Anuja Luniya over there also. So I can just share the technique with her over there, and she can try the technique on her own and see how it makes her feel. I can even help her with a few other techniques if she's open to that. But it's not about hypertension for her unless she's been diagnosed already with hypertension. Okay. Which protein is good? I would say hemp protein is good, pea protein is good, rice protein is good. If you are looking for a brand, then I would say Cosmix brands are good for protein, and I'm just typing it in for you. And the other one is India Hemp Organics. Yes, stress can also cause migraine. I'm not tried Tata Go Fit, so I don't have an idea. These are the ones I have tried personally, so I know these are good. Okay. Does stress cause loss in memory? Yes, stress cause loss in memory, because if your autonomic nervous system is not functioning properly, if your heart rate is elevated, your breathing is not as deep as it needs to be to have proper oxygen perfusion, if your gut is inflamed and not happy, all of that is going to cause inflammation in your brain, right? If your brain is inflamed, you will have poor memory, poor focus, poor working memory. You will have also brain fog, so you can't think clearly, you can't comprehend things clearly. All this happens because of chronic stress. Please, it's all about chronic stress. Just stress cause nervous system damage. So when I say nervous system, I'm speaking specifically about the autonomic nervous system, and vagus nerve is part of the autonomic nervous system. So when you're stressed for a prolonged period of time, the vagus nerve, like I mentioned, doesn't function optimally, right? Its function becomes low. It can even become dysfunctional. So in that sense, yes, it can damage, but all of this, our body is dynamic. That means that our body can come out of it. We take care of our body, we can come out of that, and we can again get our vagus to function as well as we want. So there's no structural damage till you get a chronic disease. All right. Okay, so I think this is the last question I'm taking. Yes, stress impacts concentration. I think I've already answered that. Okay, the technique that we did, Anchor 101 to relax, is we are harnessing the physiological effects of our positive emotions. So what we did in the beginning was we first took a score between 1 to 10. How are we feeling? 1 is very slow thoughts, we are fatigued, we are shut down. 10 is where we have racing thoughts, or we are agitated, angry, anxious, right? Where are you on that scale right now? After that, with our eyes, we look to the right, we wait for a yawn, sigh, or swallow. We bring our eyes back, we look to the left, we again yawn, sigh, or swallow. We bring our eyes back, close our eyes, focus on our breath, slow down our breath, bring our attention to our heart area, to our chest area, and then we focus on breathing in and out from our chest, from our heart, and then we are focusing on a memory that makes you feel happy, peaceful, or appreciated. Any memory that makes you feel that, or you can just focus on a sense of calm and peace. After you do that for a few minutes, see if you can strengthen that feeling. See if you can spread that feeling throughout your body. And then after a few minutes, you bring your focus back to your breath, and you again do your score to see on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you and how are you feeling. That was our breathing technique. All right. Thank you so much everyone for joining in today. I hope you had a great session. I hope you found it very informational and meaningful, and I hope you will use these techniques that we learned today in your daily life. And yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Anuja. It was such a informative session. I can, see from the interaction and the number of attendants that has happened today. So thank you very much for such an interactive and, informative session for us.
My pleasure, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you everyone who attended the session today. Thank you.
ऐसा होता है अगर तू नेट बैंकिंग पे जाता है ना तो नेट